Yes. So what are the protective tissues? What are protective tissues? Take out page number 24. We are on page number 24. Protective tissues. Now, what is the speciality of the protective tissues? I'll say cells are very thick, right? That means they have some deposition in their cell walls, maybe lignin deposition, maybe cellulose deposition, whatever it may be. So cells are very thick due to the deposition, due to the pigment deposition on their cell walls. That is, and where are they present, the protective tissues? That means protective tissue means they are protecting the body of the plant, right? And if we take our human skin also, there are some tissues which protect our body. That means on our skin, epidermis is there, right? Epidermal tissue is there. Epithelial tissues are there, right? So they protect the skin. Sorry, they protect the plant or any organism. So they are present basically on the surface of root, stem, and leaf, right? On the surface. Why? Because they are protecting the plant. That's why they are present on the surface of three of them, the root, stem, and the leaves. That means I'll give you an example of epidermis of leaves. You have seen epidermis is what? Epidermis is a group of cells arranged together in a line which forms a thick mass, right? And we say it as a tissue. So epidermal tissue or epithelial tissues, these are present in our skin. So that our skin could be protected. We can protect our skin through these tissues, right? Also, epidermis of leaves secrete a waxy coating. You all know, you must have studied in your class 6th or 7th that epidermis of leaves have a waxy coating over them. That waxy coating is known as cuticle. Cuticle is the waxy coating, and through that cuticle, that waxy coating helps the plant so that no other thing can get into the plant, right? It acts as a membrane, right? So it will not allow certain substances to enter into plant, right? Now come to supportive tissue, supporting tissues. There are three types of supporting tissues: parenchyma, collenchyma, and sclerenchyma. Now parenchyma, I've told you, you can write along with that. Parenchyma is known as the filler tissue. Parenchyma is known as the filler tissue. Now why parenchyma is known as the filler tissue? Because parenchyma is mainly associated with what? They are actually preparing food, storing food. That means they are filling themselves with food materials. That's why they are known as filler tissues. They are filling themselves with food, right? So they are known as filler tissues. Now what they do, their main function is to store food, and another function also they do. What is that? To provide mechanical support, temporary mechanical support, right? Basically, they are concerned with preparation or storage of food. Are you getting my point?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So that's about parenchyma. Now, what is collenchyma? Collen means glue. That means it acts like a adhesive. So it is also known as supporter tissue, or we can say supportive tissue. All these three are supporting tissue. In this, collenchyma is specifically known as supporter tissue, right? Now, why? Because its function is to support the plant. No other function it is doing. Only it is doing the main function is to support the plant. That is found in the leaf stalk and below the epidermis of the stem, right? And below that it's written the tissue helps to support the plant parts, right? And the third one, the last one is sclerenchyma. It is written scleros means heart. Now sclerenchyma is mainly concerned with providing strength, right? That means they provide strength to the different parts of plant body. They have lignin depositions. That's why cell walls are very thick because of the deposition of lignin. This tissue provides strength to the plant parts. It is found in stem and veins of the leaves. So these are found in the stem and veins of the leaves. These are known as protective tissues. So parenchyma is the filler tissue, collenchyma is the supporter tissue, and sclerenchyma is the protective tissue. They basically provide strength, right? Strength and protection, both we can say. All these three comes under simple tissues, right? the parenchyma, collenchyma, and sclerenchyma. These are the simple tissues. Now we will move forward to the complex tissues, which is known as conducting tissue. The next topic on page number 25. Page number 25, conducting tissues. So what do you mean by conduct? What does conduct means? Conduct is nothing but passage or the flow. That means we say like conduction of food, conduction of water and minerals. So that means the passage or the flow of food inside the plant body, or the passage of water and minerals inside the plant body is known as conduction. So what do you understand by conductive tissues or the conducting tissues? That means they are related to passage or the flow of food and water and minerals, right? Now, conducting tissues, they are there are two types of conducting tissues, right? One is xylem, second is phloem. You must have gone through all these topics in your seventh standard tissues. You have your seventh standard first chapter is tissues, right? So you must have gone through this. This is little detailed explanation of that only, right? So there are two types of conducting tissues. What are they? Xylem and phloem. Now they are togetherly known as vascular bundles, right? They act as vascular bundles or vascular tissues, we can say. Now we will discuss about xylem. Conducting tissue, they have two types, xylem and phloem, both are together known as vascular tissues. Now xylem. Xylem cells are elongated and thick-walled. These cells are somewhat in the form of tubular passages. They provide upward movement of water dissolved in mineral materials absorbed from the soil by roots to other parts of the plants. Now, what does xylem help? Xylem is helping in the movement of water and minerals. Which minerals? Which are already dissolved with the water, right? So the water and minerals, from where we get that? From the soil itself. So soil, obviously soil have the water and minerals in it. So from that soil, who is absorbing it? The roots. Only the roots are present inside the soil. That means the roots are inserted inside the soil. So obviously the roots will help to absorb the water and minerals from the soil. To where? Now the question is to where the roots are transporting this water and minerals. To the different parts of the plant body. Obviously, the root is at the bottommost part, right? From there, it is absorbing the water and minerals. It is now giving or transporting this water and minerals to different parts of the plant body. What are the different parts? The stem, the leaves, the branches, everything, right? That means the apical part or the upper part of the plant. So now one more thing is very important, that from roots this water passage, the passage of water and minerals only goes upwards. Why? It is very clear because roots are the bottommost. Roots are at the bottom. So from there, the water will obviously go to the upward direction. There is nothing below that, right? If it goes below, then it will again enter the soil. That's it. So for plant nourishment, it will have to move upwards. So the roots will eventually absorb the water and minerals and then transport it to the different parts of the plant body in the upward direction. You have to specify this in exam. In which direction, right? So water and minerals are transported in the upward direction. Now, there are some older xylem also, which becomes old, and by the passage of time, what happens? They turn into wood. That means if they turn into wood, what will happen? They will not take part in transportation, right? Wood cannot transport water. Stem can transport, root can transport. They have the flexibility and the passage, the narrow passages are there. But wood can't transport water, right? Wood will eventually soak water, right? So this is the older xylems, which are the tissues in the wood that becomes wood, right? The older xylem in the plant sometime become wood, and they does not participate in the in what? In the transportation process. They will not participate in the transportation process. Now, you all know there are four types of xylem tissue. What are they? tracheids, vessels, xylem parenchyma, and xylem fibers. Right? You have studied this. This also you have studied in your 7th standard. That xylem has 4 parts: tracheids, vessels, xylem parenchyma, and xylem fibers. Now we will discuss tracheids. So basically, tracheids and vessels, they are togetherly known as with some name. Some name is given to both of them. Like together, they are known as what? They are known as tracheary elements. Tracheary means you all know our body has a trachea in it, right? Our throat has a trachea in it. What is the purpose? What is the function of that trachea? To transport the food material, the water we are drinking, everything, the transport towards the stomach, right? So similarly, these tracheids and vessels, they participate in transporting of water and minerals, right? That's why they are known as tracheary elements. They are known as tracheary elements. Now, if we talk about tracheids, they are basically dead cells, right? They are dead cells and they have lignified cell walls. Lignified cell wall means they have lignin deposition on their cell walls. Deposition of lignin is there. That's why it is told here that they have lignified cell wall. Now, what is their chief function? What is their main function? To give mechanical support. How they are giving mechanical support? Like what is their structure? You can see the diagram given in your books. Variety shapes of tracheids are given on page number 25. Variety shapes of tracheids. They are spindle shaped, cylindrical, right? Cylinder shaped are there, circle shaped are there. Okay, so these tracheids, they, as we all know, they have lignin deposition. That means they have thick cell wall. Now, due to this thickening of the cell wall, they are providing the mechanical support. Like if a cell wall is very thick, it will become strong and hard and rigid, right? So it will eventually do what? It will provide mechanical support to the plant, right? Is this much clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. If you have any doubt, you can ask anytime. You need not feel shy or you need not feel anything about what will everyone think. You have any doubt, please ask me. Please clear as soon as possible. And after the chapter also, I'll give you time to ask doubts. Just a minute, give me
Okay,
a
ma'am.
minute. Yes. Yes. So tracheids are clear. What are the speciality? Tracheids are dead cells. They have lignin deposition. That means because of the lignin deposition, the cell walls are thick. Now, due to this thickening, what is their function? They provide mechanical support. Because of the thickenings, the cell wall thickenings, they provide mechanical support. This is about tracheids. Now, second is xylem vessels or tracheae. Now, what are xylem vessels? What they do basically? Xylem vessels also have lignified cell walls. That means the same case of tracheids. That means they have lignin deposition on their cell walls. They have thickenings, so they will eventually provide support, right? So alongside providing support, that means providing support is the second function of xylem vessels. What is the first function? First function is the transport of transport of water and minerals. The water and minerals is basically transported by xylem vessels. You have studied that xylem is related to transport of water and minerals. Here, vessels are doing this transport. All the others are basically storing of food and providing mechanical support, all this. But the transport is basically done through xylem vessels, right? Now come to xylem parenchyma. These are very short explanations. You just have to remember that what are they doing, their main function, how they look like, and also how they are doing the function. Like what is the reason behind that? Like I told you, they are providing mechanical support because they have thick cell walls. Lignin deposition is very high, and due to the thick cell wall, they are providing mechanical support. Which one? The tracheids. I'm talking about tracheids. So like that, you have to remember the how they are providing the function, the particular function, what is their function, and their structure. You have to remember a little bit of structure, like tracheates you can see, spindle shaped, cylindrical, both shapes are there. So you have to remember the structure. Now come to xylem parenchyma. Xylem parenchyma. Now, parenchyma is always a living cell. Why? Because the name parenchyma itself says that it is a filler tissue. It fills itself with food materials, right? So, for filling itself with food, it should be living, right? It cannot be dead and it cannot get food if it is dead. So, it is a living cell. Its basic main function or the chief function is storage of food. Now, if you want to write these things, what I am telling, I am just explaining in very simple points. In your book, paragraph is given. I am making it as a point. That's the difference. Same thing. So you can underline in your books also. Like in trachees, you can underline lignified cell walls, provide mechanical support, and all. Right? Or 2-3 sentences you can underline. Now, xylem parenchyma, we were talking about xylem parenchyma. So parenchyma is related to filling. That means food storage. So obviously they are living cells. Their basic function, chief function is to store food. Now, in what form the food is stored? Like food is not stored in the form of proper complex substances, right? They're stored in the form of sugar, starch, like that. That means the simpler substances. Food is stored in the form of simpler substances, simpler materials, right? Sugar, starch, etc. Now, what will be the complex substance of sugar? Obviously, glucose, right? We have glucose in our body. This sugar, starch, everything converts into particular things, and that becomes complex substances. But here, these parenchyma cells, since they are very small, you all know cells are very small. Tissues and cells, they are very small in nature. So they will obviously do what? They will store food in the form of very simple substances. I told you sugar, starch, etc. These are very simple substances. Now also they do conduction of water and minerals. Along with storage of food, they also do conduction of water and minerals. This is also done by xylem parenchyma. Now come to xylem fibers. Now the xylem fibers, these are dead cells. You have to remember wherever you get to hear a fiber, that means even it is xylem fiber or it is phloem fiber. Fibers are always dead cells, right? Now they have thick walls, so they will provide eventually what? They will eventually provide mechanical support. Thick wall is equals to mechanical support. You have to remember this. If the cell is having depositions of something, that means lignin, cellulose, pectin, any deposition. So eventually, if the deposition of that particular pigment is more, eventually what will happen? Cell wall will become thick. Now cell wall will become thick means what will happen? It will give mechanical support. Cell wall is thick, it is rigid, it is hard, so it will eventually give mechanical support, right? So this is very easy to remember. Xylem, I told you fibers always are dead cells. They have thick wall. Thick wall means they will provide mechanical support. That's it. That's all about xylem fibers. So is this clear to you all, the trachees, vessel, parenchyma, and the fibers? Is this much clear? Any doubt?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So after this class, just go through this portion, what I taught you today. Now we have some time left. We will do the phloem also. We will discuss the phloem. Now, phloem. When we hear about phloem or when we come across this word phloem, that means phloem means always what? Storage of food or the passage of food. Xylem is considered with what? Can anybody tell me? Xylem, what does xylem do? Passage of,
Conduct,
yes, conduction of, yes, Gautam.
conducting food.
Yes, conduction of water and minerals. You can write somewhere, you can just distinguish both of them, xylem and phloem. Xylem do conduction of water and minerals, and phloem do conduction of food materials. There is a difference, right? Food and water and minerals. Xylem is considered with the water and minerals, and the phloem with food materials. So basically, phloem acts as the storage for food, as a place for storage of food, and also the conduction of food is done through phloem. Now, the food is prepared where? You all must have studied, you all know that the food in the plant is prepared or stored in leaves. Leaves of the plant acts as the storage center for food, right? Now from leaves, these food materials have to, like they obviously have to move downwards to the roots and to the stem and to the branches for nourishment of the plant, right? So in phloem, the movement of food will always be downwards. But it is not always, because along with the downward movement of food, also this food material prepared in the leaf also goes to the new leaves which are growing. That means on the upper side, some new leaves are also growing. So that leaves also needs nourishment, right? So this food material which is present inside, which is transported from the to the by the phloem, this moves upward and downward direction. Like why upward? Upward because new leaves are growing upward. So for nourishing those new leaves, these food material move upward. Now why downward? Because downward stem is there, root is there, branches is there, other leaves are there. So also they also want nourishment. That's why this also moves downwards. So the passage or the flow of food is both upward and downwards. The passage and flow of food is both upward and downwards, whereas the passage of water and minerals in xylem is always upwards, right, from roots to different parts of the plant body. But here in phloem, the food is transported in both the direction, upwards and downwards. Upwards for the new growing leaves and downwards for other parts like stem, root, etc. Am I clear to you all?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Please underline these things when I am teaching you these things. Please underline what I am saying. It is all written in your books, maybe in different language it is written. Come to phloem cells, page number 26. Phloem cells provide a passage for the downward movement of food manufactured by the leaves to the various parts of the plants. So that's all I said right now, that they do upward and downward movement of food. That means from leaves to the new growing leaves upward, and from leaves to the stem and roots and branches, that means downward direction, both upward and downward direction for food passage, right? So this is about the function of phloem. This is about the function of phloem. Now you have a figure 3.8 phloem cells. That means longitudinal section is also there, cross section is also there. Now, what do you mean by longitudinal and cross section? Now, this is not in your course. I'm just telling you for your knowledge, for your extra knowledge, right? Now, by looking at the diagram, the longitudinal one, how can you recognize that it's a longitudinal one? Because it is straight. Like in a longitudinal section, it is cutted into straight pieces. Like this, this phloem is cutted in the straight manner, in a longitudinal manner. That's why it is known as longitudinal section. And cross section means like from between it is cut. Like we cut onion for salad, we cut onions for salad, we cut from between. We don't cut longitudinally, we cut it in circles, right? So that circular cutting is known as cross section, right? Just a minute. Yes. Now phloem also have 4 types of cell. Xylem also have 4 types of cells. What are they? Tracheids, vessels, xylem parenchyma, xylem fibers. Phloem also have Four type of cells: sieve tube, companion cells, phloem parenchyma, and phloem fibers. Now, the phloem parenchyma and phloem fibers are same as the xylem parenchyma and xylem fibers. There may be slight difference, but sieve tubes and companion cells are totally different ones. Now we will have a look at the sieve tubes. Page number 26, below that diagram, sieve tubes. Now what is a sieve tube? Now basically, sieve tubes is the cell of phloem, right? Now these sieve tubes, they are naturally dead in nature. They are actually dead in nature, but they perform some functions, some activities they perform. Now how? You will ask how. When sieve tubes are dead in nature, how they will perform certain functions. They can. Now listen carefully how they will perform. Now you see companion cells. These companion cells are attached to these sieve tubes, right? Are you understanding? Like, for example, this is a sieve tube. This cylindrical pen, like sieve tubes are cylindrical in shape. So this pen, consider this pen as a sieve tube, right? Now this, along with this sieve tube, on the edges like this, small plates are arranged. So these small plates are arranged alongside the sieve tube are known as companion cells. So companion cells are living cells. Are you getting my point? Companion cell are living cells, but the sieve tubes are dead cell. Now the companion cell is attached with the sieve tube, like plate-like structures are attached. So eventually what will happen? These living companion cell will help the sieve tube to function properly, right? These living companion cell, they will help the sieve tube to function properly. So basically, the chief function of sieve tube is to transport food from leaves to all the storage organs and to the other parts, right? This is the main function of sieve tube, that they transport food from the leaves where food is made. They transport the food from leaves to the storage organs. That means there are different storage organs in the plant body, right? Stems also store food. So they will transport the food from leaves to storage organ and the other parts, right? Now, these sieve tubes also have sieve plates over them. Like suppose this is a sieve tube, this cylindrical shape. Now over this cylinder, sieve plates are arranged, boxes are arranged, small boxes are arranged in a plane. They are known as sieve plates. Also in between also they are arranged, downwards also they are arranged. So they are arranged in within small gaps. They are arranged like in a plane. If you have a diagram, no, there is no diagram given here. For reference, you can see your 7th standard textbook if you have. In your 7th standard textbook, you have the proper sieve tubes, the diagram is there and the sieve plates are also mentioned there. So just go through that whenever you get time. So sieve tubes, have you all understood what are they? They are that their main function is they are cylindrical in shape, first thing. Then their main function is transport of food from leaves to different storage organs and other parts, other plant parts. And also they have presence of sieve plates over them, right? Sieve plates are also present. And also sieve plates are perforated. Perforated means they have small openings in them. Small openings are there from where sieve tubes get the water and minerals inside them, right? Now come to companion cell. I told you companion cell do what? Companion cell is a living cell. It basically gives strength, or it basically helps the sieve tube to function effectively, right? So when companion cell is asked, or when you have to write something about companion cell, what you have to write? These cells are closely associated with each other, right? They are very closely packed. Associated means they are very closely packed or closely placed with each other. Also, they are living and they are placed along with the sieve tubes. Now, if the function is asked, what you have to write? The function of companion cell is to provide support or provide help to the seed tube to function effectively, right? So this much is about companion cells. Now come to phloem parenchyma. You all know parenchyma means storage of food. That means it's a living cell. So first point will be parenchyma, phloem parenchyma is a living cell. Now what is its function? It stores starch, fat, and other organic food material, right? Its function is to store starch, oil, and oil, not oil, fat, right? Starch, fat, and other organic food material. These all are stored by phloem parenchyma. That means here also parenchyma is concerned with storage of food. Parenchyma word, if parenchyma word comes, you have to remember that parenchyma is always concerned with storage of food materials. Now come to parenchyma phloem fibers. Fibers, I told you, always dead cells. So in this also, phloem fibers are dead cells. What they do, being dead, they will not remain as they are. Like being dead, you will think that they cannot do any function, but they will do some function, that is providing mechanical support, right? They need not be living to provide mechanical support. If they are dead also, they can provide support. How? Because obviously they are closely packed with each other, and because of that close packaging without any intercellular space between them, they become hard and rigid, right? And because of the rigidity of the cell, they will eventually provide mechanical support to the plant, right? Is this much clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So that's about xylem and phloem. So these are basically xylem and phloem are known as complex tissues. I told you parenchyma, sclerenchyma, and parenchyma, they were simple tissues. Xylem and phloem, which are the conducting tissues, they are also known as complex tissues. Complex means, what does complex mean? That means they have more than one type of cells. Simple means they have one type of cell. Complex means they have more than one type of cells. So they are known as complex tissues. And I told you togetherly they are known as what? Vascular tissues or vascular bundles. Now they are found in the veins of the leaves. Example is veins of the leaves. Vascular bundles are, masses of cells. That means there are more than one type of cell. So you can see this more than one type of cell in the veins of the leaves. You have seen from midrib veins arises. In those veins, you can see this vascular bundles, right? In higher classes, you will dissect those leaves and you can see under a microscope how does the vascular bundles look like. So that comes in higher classes. For now, you have to know this much. So for today, we will stop here. We have done the plant tissues, right? Now from the next class, whenever is your next class, we will do animal tissues. Okay, is everything clear to you all in today's class?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. So for today, this much is enough. So thank you for joining everyone. You may leave or you may wait for the next class. Okay, we are stopping here.